Today I learned that my boyfriend broke up an engagement. For context, my boyfriend Dan and his coworker Jimmy work with concrete. The line of work seems to create an atmosphere of toxic masculinity in some of these men, and that's where Jimmy fucks up in this story. Jimmy and his fiancée had been engaged for some time. So of course, when Jimmy started telling Dan about all the tail he was getting, it raised some eyebrows. He would say things like, "Dude, you should see these chicks I've been sleeping with, this tail I just got was so fine," to which Dan would respond, "Aren't you getting married?" Jimmy would say, "Yeah, but we're guys, right? It's what we do." Actually, Jimmy, it's not. This behavior continued to the point Dan felt that in good conscience he couldn't keep the information to himself any longer, or he would be complicit in enabling it. So eventually, he meets with the fiancée, and drops the bomb on her. It was a difficult conversation to have according to him, and it took him a while to bring himself to do it, but he felt much better afterwards. Poor girl was going to marry the man she loved, who was doing her so dirty. Kudos to you, Dan. You broke up an engagement in the best way. Fuck you, Jim. My fiancé won't marry me if I get a prenup. I 43 am a doctor. I wasted 15 years after high school to pursue that profession only because of the salary and prestige. My father has a lot of properties and businesses that he owns and I will be a main beneficiary for these said items. I proposed to my fiancée 39F about 2 months ago and are now in the talks of the actual wedding ceremonies. I brought up the topic about a prenup. Note, she's unemployed and we've been living together for a year. She immediately declined, saying what I earn is what we make together and we share. I don't feel secure unless I get the prenup because here on Reddit there's post after post of people being milked in divorce. I already am starting to feel like she's a gold digger. If I buy her gifts, her first question is how expensive it is. She says I should only get her designer for accessory gifts or clothes, so I just stopped getting her as much and only did so on special occasions, Christmas, birthday, anniversaries, etc. I myself don't see that much for designer, maybe some higher end brands, but designer is just wasting money. Back to the topic. I keep bringing it up and every time she just continues to say no. I'm fine with not being married, she is the one that suggested marriage. I am completely fine with staying as fiancés for as long as I live. I just need advice on how to proceed. Should I just do a wedding without anything on actual paper or not marry at all until a prenup is signed? I caught my wife going in the men's restroom at the grocery store. Me and my wife were at the store. And I was only going to get 4 or 5 things there. And my wife told me she had to go use the bathroom. And I couldn't find what I was looking for, so I was going to wait outside the bathroom for her to come out. And on my way there, I saw her coming out of men's bathroom. I covered my mouth in shock and I asked her, "Why were you in the men's bathroom for?" And she told me she went in the lock all the stalls. I said, "Why would you do that for?" And right before she answered, this guy who also saw her when he was taking his son to the bathroom, he came out and asked her if he did anything to the stalls cause they were all locked, and she said no. Then he went to go get a manager to come and look. Then, my wife rushed me out the store and into the car. I asked her why did he do that, and he said that she did it when he was younger and wanted to do it again. Now, be aware that 31 and she's 28. This is something that a 10-year-old would do. My son lied to his father to protect me. There's moments like this I realize how depressing my marriage really is. I wanted to get my son, 12, some new clothes. We went shopping this evening. My husband told me what I could spend. We don't have a tight budget. He owns a construction business and we live comfortably. He just frequently gives me limits when I shop. I think it's a way of testing me. My son was happy with everything. But I wanted to get him another pair of shoes that I really liked. In the back of my mind I was worried, but I told myself he'd let it slide since it was for one of our kids. He didn't. He was pissed. My son overheard him confronting me about overspending and he told me we'd talk about it after dinner. You can guess what that usually means for me. My husband thinks he's being quiet, but our son is getting older and pays attention. I tried to hide my nerves in front of my children, but I know my son noticed. And then he said, "Dad, Mom didn't know about the shoes, I snuck them in." I instantly started to say that it wasn't true, and that I chose them. But my husband didn't believe me. He directed his anger at our son. He yelled at him for listening to our private conversations and then for disrespecting me by not asking for the shoes. I tried to calm my husband down, but he ended up sending our son to his room. When I could slip away, I brought my son the rest of his dinner. I told him he shouldn't have lied for me. He said, "You're my mom, I'll protect you." I told him I'm the one who should protect him. I wanted to cry. I don't know how it got to this point. Why should my son feels like he has to protect me from his father? He's just a kid. I love my husband, but I get these moments of clarity and I just feel sick. I went driving drunk, and caused a car crash. This happened on the night of August 1st. For a bit of context, I, 26M, got home stressed and angry, drank the whiskey I had left in the bottle, I don't recall how much. A quarter? A third? And decided I needed to go to the store right now. I drove to the nearest one, It was closed, so I had to drive a bit further to a different one. I saw a traffic light jump from yellow to red, but I went full gas anyway. I hit the side of a crossing car. A police officer just told me the 2 women in the car are fine, thank God. Honestly, a miracle, because they were in a much more dangerous position than I was. They were probably in a better car than me. I drive a piece of crap without airbags and wasn't wearing my seatbelt. I got wrapped around my dashboard, which I suppose is preferable to flying out the windshield, but I still got badly injured. My doctors told me it's a miracle I'm not paralyzed, or even alive. I'm typing this from the hospital. They didn't think it was necessary to handcuff me to my bed. I can't even sit up by myself anyway, lol. I don't know yet what will happen to me legally. I'm not sure why I'm posting this, honestly. I guess I just wanted to get it off my chest, which is what this sub is made for. I cope by talking about things, and it's a nice distraction. I feel so guilty about what happened. I could have easily killed innocent people. I can't stop replaying the image over and over again in my mind. Ask me anything, I suppose. Or insult me for being a reckless pass. Tell me you wish I had passed in the accident and I would agree with you. Have a nice evening.